Let's grab a cuppa and settle in because we need to talk. The whispers have been swirling, haven't they? That gut-wrenching feeling when you hear a rumor about two of the village's most iconic characters. The words tragic accident, linked with names like Eric Pollard and Robert Subden, are enough to send any fan into a tailspin. We hear you, we see the frantic searches, and we feel that same jolt of panic. But today, we're going to get to the heart of it. While the village hasn't been rocked by a single tragic accident involving both Eric and Robert together, the truth is that their individual journeys are so packed with heartbreak, drama, and sheer tragedy that it's easy to see how the wires could get crossed. These two men from different generations and with vastly different moral compasses have each walked through their own personal hells, leaving us, the viewers, breathless and emotionally wrecked. So let's untangle the storylines and look at the shocking and tragic events that have defined these two Emmerdale legends. The agony of Robert Subden, a lover, a fighter, a prisoner. Where do you even begin with Robert Subden? Just when you think his life can't get any more complicated, the scriptwriters throw another heart-stopping twist his way. Robert's story isn't just a drama. It's an epic saga of love, loss, and devastating consequences. For so many of us, Robert's heart belongs to Aaron Dingle. Robron wasn't just a pairing, it was an emotional investment. We cheered for them, we cried with them, and our hearts shattered alongside theirs. Who could ever forget the catastrophic bypass crash? The image of their car submerged in water, the desperate fight for survival, and the agonizing wait to see if they would both make it out alive is seared into our memories. That wasn't just an accident. It was a testament to their love, a moment that proved they would literally go through deep water for one another. But Robert's tragedies are rarely simple accidents. They are often born from the darkness that follows him. Remember the Who Shot Robert storyline? The entire village was a suspect, and Robert was left fighting for his life in a hospital bed. It was a stark reminder of how many bridges he had burned, how many lives he had manipulated. And then came the moment that changed everything. The single act that ripped him from the Dales and from the love of his life. When his sister, Victoria, was horrifically assaulted by Lee Posner, a protective and vengeful fire ignited in Robert. In a moment of rage, he attacked Lee, an act that would ultimately lead to Lee's death and Robert's life sentence for murder. His exit in 2019 was one of the most painful in Emmerdale history. Seeing him behind bars, cutting ties with Aaron to spare him a lifetime of waiting, was utterly devastating. It was a tragic end born not from a random accident, but from a deliberate, albeit emotionally charged, act of violence. And just when we thought the chapter was closed, he burst back onto our screens this year in a whirlwind of emotion. Crashing Aaron's wedding in a desperate last-ditch attempt to win him back was pure, uncut Robert Subden drama. But this isn't a fairy tale. His grand gesture backfired spectacularly, violating his parole and landing him right back in prison. It was a tragic reunion, a fleeting glimpse of what could have been, snatched away in an instant. Robert's life is a cycle of tragic choices and heartbreaking consequences. The enduring trials of Eric Pollard, a legend facing his sunset. On the other end of the village spectrum is Eric Pollard, Emmerdale's longest-serving character, a man who is transformed from a conniving villain to a beloved, if sometimes grumpy, elder statesman. Eric has seen it all, done it all, and lost so much. His most profound tragedy was undoubtedly the loss of his beloved wife Val. The helicopter crash that tore through the village was a spectacle of disaster, but the true heartbreak was in the quiet, intimate moments that followed. Val, trapped in the mirror maze, sharing her final, beautiful and hilarious moments with her sister Diane, before a shard of glass ended her life. Eric's grief was a palpable, raw thing. He wasn't just a widower. He was a man unmoored, his life's anchor ripped away in the most senseless, cruel way. The rampage he went on afterward, lashing out at Chrissy White, who he blamed for the crash, showed a man pushed to the very edge by grief. In recent times, Eric has been facing a different kind of tragedy, one that is quieter but no less devastating. His diagnosis with Parkinson's disease has been a powerful and poignant storyline. We've watched this proud, independent man grapple with the vulnerabilities of his own body. It's a real-world tragedy that resonates deeply, a battle he can't scheme his way out of. This health struggle has been compounded by a series of desperate and disastrous decisions. His ill-fated venture into cryptocurrency saw him lose his own money, and heartbreakingly, the life savings of his partner, Brenda. The guilt and shame have been eating him alive, pushing him to the brink of burning down his own shop for the insurance money. It's a shocking turn, revealing the depths of his despair. More recently, our hearts have been in our throats as his health took another turn. A nasty fall at the shop landed him in the hospital, forcing him to confront the reality that he needs a carer. For a man like Pollard, who has always been in control, this is a profound and emotional struggle. The tragedy for Eric now isn't the sudden explosive event, but the slow creeping erosion of his health, his pride, and his security. Two paths, one village, endless heartache. So no, there hasn't been a single tragic accident that has brought these two men to their knees together. But their stories are interwoven with the fabric of the village's deepest sorrows. From the echoes of the helicopter crash that took Eric's wife and was caused by the family Robert married into, to Eric's recent targeting of Robert's sister Victoria, their orbits, while distant, are part of the same dramatic universe. The shocking news isn't about one event. It's about the ongoing heart-wrenching sagas of two of Emmerdale's most complex characters. It's about a young man whose passionate heart leads him to a prison cell, and an old man facing his own mortality with fear and flawed pride. Their stories remind us why we love this soap so much, because it reflects the highest highs and the most tragic lows of life, love, and loss. And for Robert and Eric, the tragedies just keep on coming.